Hi, everybody. Dale Pinkert from TradeGateHub.com, powered by TradeView. And this is going to be a very beneficial interview with Frank Kaberna, and Jason is with us as well from TradeView. Welcome, gentlemen. Great to see you, especially with all this volatility that we have in the markets. Hard to hold a position. You almost have to take it while it's there. Smaller accounts having a difficult time trading the full-size contracts, and Frank, I go back far enough to remember the mid-am, and they were for people who couldn't afford the big seats at the CBOT or CME, and it was a great market. You could trade 1,000 bushel contracts in the grain. So tell us a little bit about your background, your first gig in the business, and what you're doing now with small exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on. So excited to talk to you, Coach, and to talk to the whole TradeGate Hub community here. It really is a joy for us to be talking markets and also talking a little bit about our new products here. But my first gig in the industry, born and raised here in Chicago, spent a little bit of time in our Midwestern neighboring state, Michigan, for school, but then came right back. And I traded overnight rates for about a year or so at the Board of Trade for a prop firm, which was pretty brutal. Trading the tuna, as I'm sure you know. It's funny, all of the trading industry people here around Chicago have their first asset class that they cut their teeth on. And it seems like, Dale, you're a big Forex guy. I've got other buddies who are big Forex people, and I was an interest rate dude. And with rates, it was the 2 to 4 session here was such a big deal. Everybody talks about the 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time session, and so I'd wake up for that, and then it was like quick turnaround to the Asian session from like 6-7 p.m. until midnight. Europe kicks in, and then I'm going to sleep around 7 or 8 a.m. So I did that for as long as I could, and loved trading the cash against futures against futures, euro dollars against treasuries, all this different stuff. And I still love it, love all the relationships, love all the price action and everything else. And of course, love what we're here for, making money, but just wasn't so sustainable trading the nights and the big swings for me. And so I moved out of the Board of Trade into more of just like a smaller trading role, an educational role at Tasty Trade. They do a bunch of nice financial content. Wrote for them for a number of years, and now I'm here at the small exchange, Dale, making smaller futures for the everyday person. So you don't have to worry about those huge, still some pretty big swings, obviously, especially in volatile markets like US dollar these days and rates and crude oil, but not losing sleep over a lot of these moves with our smaller products. But that's my quick elevator pitch background.
You were very fortunate, blessed to have been educated and had really broke in with pros. The search that people have for direction in the markets on the internet is such a minefield that even though the exchange floors aren't active anymore, that you were, rubbing elbows with traders. Really, you were lucky.
Yeah, it was honestly, like I say, I only could handle it for a year or so. But I think about our risk manager almost every day. Great guy who taught me all about spread trading, when that rubber band expands and you can make money on it coming back, and when that thing snaps, you got to get out. And so learned all of that stuff. Learned from rubbing elbows with a bunch of, I can visualize right now the two guys sitting next to me up on, I think it was maybe the 17th floor of the Board of Trade. I had my dude Larry to the left of me, and he'd been around forever, and he was a talker, man. Like every single time we'd be putting on knob spreads or whatever, he'd get his 10 years, he'd miss his bonds, and he's talking at the market. And I mean, it seems like nonsense, but you get that personality of the trader, and you get the dynamics of that market from these people, these traders who've been around forever, from the days in the pits, and understand
surround
it.
yourself with traders better than you is what
Yeah.
I tell people. You rise to their level. Jason, I want to bring you in. You know, I know you're in Chicago and you're the director of futures for TradeView Markets, and you've known the company principals for a long time. So tell me what you know, what put you on the hunt for where you got a hold of Frank and the small exchange. You saw a need because at TradeView you can trade almost everything on one of their platforms. See, you know, if you're not a U.S. resident. So how does this fit in? This is our first futures relationship at TradeView.
Well, it's one of many, Dale. Kind of this all goes back to the FIA conference. You know, as we were building out the futures product, we knew which exchanges we wanted to connect to. And when we met the guys at the small exchange, we immediately knew that there was definitely a lot of synergy there between what they were doing and what TradeView does. And over time, we went live with them, and we actually ended up joining the exchange just 2 months ago. And so it's a new relationship. It's fantastic, and we're excited to get it off the ground.
Okay, so as a member, what are the advantages of being a member rather than just trading through? Is it similar to being a member of other exchanges?
It gives us visibility within the trading community. You know, we're a broker listed on their website. We're one of, I believe, 12, Frank, that are listed.
Yep.
And again, it's a new relationship to us. And it's exciting, especially to be here in Chicago, to partner with all the exchanges that we connect to. And Small Exchange has got, you know, great content, and we're excited to, you know, have them on resources like TradeGate Hub and get that out to our trading community.
Yeah, and if I can actually piggyback on that for just a second there, because let's face it, there's the CME is the huge provider of both big contracts and smaller contracts, but the small exchange being at a TradeView and being accessible to TradeGate Hub, the community, and everything else. Of course, we'd love to be the only futures that you trade, but we really find ourselves as being a great introductory product. A lot of our products range in margin from, you know, $100 to $500. You can't really, especially 2 or 3 years ago, Dale, you know this, you couldn't trade a futures product for less than $5,000 in margin. Yeah. With the micros, those have come down, but still, you know, $2,000, $2,500, we definitely find ourselves in this niche of new futures traders or futures traders who want greater granularity of scaling up and down with equity products, Forex products, everything that we offer with smaller margins, smaller sizes, and everything else. So we definitely find ourselves with TradeView and that community being a great place for people getting started in futures, if they're coming from Forex or they're coming from stocks or what have you, a really lower risk relative to the rest of the futures community. And then from there, of course, you can go on to your big, you know, lumber contracts and your big crude oil contracts and everything else. Big natural gas, obviously moving a ton recently, but you can really kind of get your bearings in futures with some of these smaller products that, I mean, when have you guys seen before? I'm still surprised by it. Futures products that have a $150 margin, a $200 margin. I'm so used to, especially at the Board of Trade, everything costing $7,000, $10,000 and up. So that's where we really find ourselves in that futures part of the TradeView community.
Are you self-clearing, or do you have a clearing firm that clears trades for you as an exchange? And you're doing pieces of these contracts. Who clears the trades?
We use the OCC. Our relationship with them has been, you know, tops. We've been really hitting a nice stride with them, being able to launch new products that they're comfortable with, that we have all, risks and everything accounted for. So we do lean on the OCC for that. And we were able to launch.
Educate me, Frank. OCC stands for and is.
Oh man, you're gonna catch me on this one because we use so many acronyms here, man. That
I mean, who are they?
Options Clearing Corporation.
Oh my God, sure. Okay,
that's exactly right.
All right, I have old timers today. So so yeah, and the funds are with the brokers, like your sponsoring broker. Can clients open up an account with any broker and then trade at the small exchange, or it's up to every broker to be able to supply that platform to their clients, like TradeView is right now?
We have a pretty robust list of brokers in here, everything from interactive brokers to Tastyworks to Stone, and then of course our lovely friends here at TradeView Markets, and you can see the symbology and everything to find all of those products. So yeah, if you don't trade at one of these several different brokerages, you would have to find an account there. But we are, adding people all the time. I like this most recent relationship with TradeView to try to get out to as many people as possible.
Okay, so in my day, small cannabis used to mean you got shorted. So tell us, what is it, a ETF for? What is it, an ETF for cannabis stocks?
Yeah, it's an equity index future that's actually quite small, and it holds about a little over a dozen cannabis stocks there, but has the futures margin. So that's, for example, that's a $700 product that costs you just about $100 to trade. You go to, the MJ ETF for your trading or your investment. And if you want $700 of exposure, you're putting up $350 or $700, depending on how your stock is margined. But yeah,
and then you pay also the broker loan fee if you're margining the ETF, right?
That's exactly right.
And it's not cheap at most places, the margin loan. Jason, what's margin loan at TradeView?
Well, our minimum account, Dale, is $2,500 to open at TradeView. Margin is going to be, vary based upon contract. But from what Frank says, to trade the small exchange contracts, it is a smaller margin compared to a lot of the other exchanges that we connect to. So if you're interested in having exposure to precious metals or different parts of the yield curve,
great menu.
Yeah.
It's a great menu. So let me ask you this: how long have you been operating, and where do you see the money flow? Could I guess that small dollar might be one of them because of the bull run that we've had in the dollar? Where's the money flowing?
Yeah, we've been in operation with futures live on different platforms for about 2 years. And you're exactly right. Recently, it's definitely been US dollar, that product, with the large run up, a lot of Forex trading going on in the last month or so. A lot of people trading in and out of that thing. And it's been a really nice product for people who are coming over to Forex because it's a smaller product. It's a margin of $170 to trade, Dale. And then also it is that basket of US dollar against euro, against sterling and everything else, as opposed to
similar to the construct of the Dixie.
It's similar to the UUP ETF. I'm not actually the DX, you're saying the ICE
DXY that has the same composition of euro. So
it's similar, but there's actually a Chinese renminbi piece in there as well. And I don't know if does DX have the Mexican peso. We've got Mexican peso exposure in there, and Canadian Australian dollar, which I think they have, but we don't have the Swiss or the Swedish exposure.
Okay,
I don't know if DX does have those.
Okay, so definitely know what you're trading, and go to the product specs, right? and know what you're buying, know what you're selling before you do it. Don't be lazy, do your due diligence. Let me ask you if people want want to inquire and get some more information about Small Exchange. Jason, how would people contact you? And Frank, do you mind if people reach out to you as well?
I mean, Dale, on our futures landing page, futures.tradeviewforex.com,
Okay.
it spells out, the different products that we have, the margins, the trading hours, so on and so forth. Another great way to get in touch would be email us at futures@tvmarkets.com. And we'd be happy to, set folks up with a free 2-week demo of the software, and they'd be able to, trade in a simulated environment with real-time rates from the small exchange.
Okay. What's the software like? Charting package, etc.
Yeah.
Is it MT4 or what? How's it run?
So we have our own proprietary front end. It's got great charting. It's got great DOM tiles.
Wow.
It's very robust, and it's all included in the brokerage rate. And later on in Q3, we will be offering it through MT5. So
Wow.
customers will have two choices. Those that are familiar with MT5 that want to dip their toe into futures and access the small exchange will be able to do so through TradeView. I believe we'll be the only broker out there offering it on MT5, which is fantastic. And then they can have another software choice, which is our proprietary front end as well.
Great energy coming from Chicago today, gentlemen. I really
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Comes
you
in the
guys
water
are,
out here, Dale.
yeah, you're not affected by how the Cubs look this year, guys. You're talking to an old bleacher bum. All right, so I remember even the trade of Lou Brock for Ernie Brolio, the worst trade in baseball history, and then the '69 Cubs, where they faded to the Mets, and everyone was crying, and the Chicago River turned blue. So
I really respect the history and everything of the Cubs, but I'm sorry to say, man, I grew up on the South Side, and I'm a big White Sox boy.
you were
look,
you were the first park with fireworks. I went there.
Yeah.
Fireworks on
with
a
the
home
spinning
run.
wheels.
That was a White Sox idea. and Jason, you're a transplant, and how you looks like you're really enjoying your new location, being there in Chicago. And
Absolutely, Dale. This is a great town. I've been out here for a while. And we're entering my favorite time of the year, summertime. It's 100 days we live for in this town. So things are looking up and up, man.
all right, well, you told me that you were a rugby player, and now that I see you on camera, I'm certainly glad you're a friend and not an adversary. All right, Jason, I'm glad to have you as an ally. And Frank, really great meeting you. I think it's a great mission that you're on, because a lot of people want to try it, and they just really don't have the right amount of risk capital. There still should be a suitability thing. I don't care how small a contract is, that people don't trade their mortgage money or their social security income, that even if it's small, you shouldn't gamble with what you need to survive on, and it's costing a little bit more money just to do the same thing nowadays. So what I used to tell people as a broker, Jason?
What's that?
Maybe it was pretty extreme. I would say, you see that $50,000 check you're setting the account up with? I want you to imagine that you just struck a match and you put it to the check. And if that bothers you, it's not risk capital.
Yeah.
No, I can totally
You never have compliance problems
that.
with a presentation like that. So I really appreciate your time, giving your time, Frank and Jason, for this. And anything I could do to bring visibility, feel free to tag me on Twitter, and be great to have you back again, see what the progress is with the exchange. And Frank and Jason, anytime you're welcome on any of the broadcasts I do to update people with what's happening at TradeView, like Mike does. And enjoyed meeting both of you for the first time.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. And yeah, if you need any information further, go to smallexchange.com. You can also reach out to me through, Twitter or wherever, Frank Kaberna, Kaberna, and we'll answer anything. We really strive for education and smaller, standard, simple size with futures. And so we're here to help anybody get off the ground, from, social media to email to anywhere else. Go to smallexchange.com for more information on the products. We have a bunch of educational content on how to get started and what all the way up until spread trading and some of the more advanced ideas around trading futures. So thanks so much for having me on, Dale. But make sure anybody who wants more information can reach out or go to smallexchange.com. And yeah, I'd love to jump on in the future and just talk markets with you, man. Trade the dollar around, trade interest rates around, and everything else, and try to make some money. Yeah.
Open invite on that, Frank. And I do want to let people know that they could follow you on Twitter at Frank_Kaberna. Jason,
That's
you
exactly
active on
right.
Twitter? You have a handle you want to share with our audience?
I'm not much of a Twitter gentleman, but for more information, guys, you can reach out to us at futures@tvmarkets.com. Learn about how to open up an account to trade the small exchange. Dale, thanks again for putting this on today. And Frank, it's been awesome having you on, man. Look forward to doing this again in the future.
In the cycle that we're in, Frank, perhaps instead of just having a savings account or looking at small exchange as a trading vehicle, it could also be a hedge against food's insecurity and shortages, with the disappearance of a supply chain, and all the wheat that's leaving Ukraine is going into Russia on trucks, and India's not going to export. Everyone's holding on to their reserves of everything right now. So, it's actually a way for people to hedge the future. And Jason is director of futures. So that could be part of people's future, is having a hedge on the inflation that they're going to have to experience every day by owning some of these instruments, precious metals.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Before I let you
that's
go,
one side of.
I'm sorry. And before I let you go, you said that there's a lot of flow into the dollar contract. Please tell me there's not a lot of flow into precious metals right now.
We have not seen a ton of flow into buying precious metals. More fun trading the US dollar and the US interest rates. I know you're a Forex guy, but I've got to represent my interest rates. Those have been trading around a lot too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Have a great holiday weekend, and look forward to keeping people informed about a good way to go that almost anyone can qualify in some way to, have their toe in the water in what's happening in our world today.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Good hunting, Frank, Jason. Thank you very much. And everyone, drop into TradeGate Hub and we share our ideas, including things that you could trade at the small futures market, and bring your ideas in here and learn how to trade. We offer that at TradeGate Hub. Take it easy, everyone. Adios. And thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thanks for letting me interrupt you for about 30 minutes. All right. Adios.
Have a good one.
See ya.
See ya.